Hello and welcome to the end of the section challenge. Now, these section challenges are designed to test your understanding, to see how much you've learned in the section and if you can do some of these things on your own, because this is the best way to learn, is to see if you can do things on your own. And they're also really fun and give us an opportunity to see how much we're growing. So for this end of the section challenge, it's going to be relatively straightforward. You're going to get some props and drag in some props from the starter content. So open the starter content, go to the meshes, and bring some props into your level. Now, manipulate those objects. I'd like you to get some practice translating, rotating, and scaling those objects. So customize your scene a bit and make sure you get some duplication in there. So duplicate some of these objects and move them around. Use snapping and turn snapping on or off depending on the situation. See if you can get a feel for when you should or should not use snapping. Now, once you have your scene looking relatively decent, I'd like you to add a bookmark. So position your camera to a nice point of view and add a bookmark and make sure your bookmark is working by moving around and then hitting the hotkey to go back to your bookmark to see your scene from that point of view. Now, once you have a bookmark, I'd like you to enter game view and immersive mode. And remember, we have hotkeys for these. This allows us to full screen our viewport, as well as remove anything that's invisible in game, such as the icons for some of those floating objects in the world. So once you're in game view in immersive mode, I'd like you to take a high-resolution screenshot. So get a nice shot of your scene, and once you have your screenshot, I'd like you to post it in the Share Your Work channel in the Druid Mechanics Discord. I'd like you to show the rest of the community your high-resolution screenshot and take a look at some screenshots of some other students. And this is good practice in getting us to sort of share our work with each other, as the more you're involved with a community that can help you out and help answer questions, the more equipped you are to succeed in your game dev career. So it's going to be really good practice for you to get in there and show off your work. I know it's not much yet. Trust me, we're going to have some amazing things to show off very, very soon. So this just gets your feet wet, gets you used to getting involved. So this is a great experience for you. So go ahead and pause the video, tackle this challenge, and share your screenshot with the community. All right, so my scene could use a little bit of love. I'm going to take my chair and I'm going to move it down to the floor. Now, here's a little trick that I haven't shown you yet, but if you have a static mesh selected and you hit the end key on your keyboard, it'll snap right down to the ground. So if you didn't know that trick, that can be handy. So my scene needs a little bit more. So I'm going to go into starter content, and in my props folder, I have several things here at my disposal. Now, I see that there are some windows and doors, and I'd really like to have a door. So I'm going to take this door frame and drag it right on in, and with snapping enabled, I'm going to rotate it about 90 degrees. And I'm going to drag in a static mesh door and rotate that by 90 as well, and position it so that it's in the door frame. Now I see that it's not exactly centered, so I'm going to take my snapping increment and change it from 10 to 5, and that way I can snap it right in place there. So now I have a door. That's great. There's no wall there, but that doesn't matter. That's not very important right now. Now I do have this nice bush. I think I can move it to the back and duplicate it and rotate the duplicate. And I think I'd like to scale the duplicate up slightly so it's a little bit bigger, like that. Now I do see that I have this large rock here. I'm going to drag one of these in, and I see that it's quite large, so I'm going to scale it on down to a sizable, manageable size, and this can be one of my office decorations. So I'll stick it right here, right next to my chair there. Okay, now my scene is looking beautiful, so I'm going to make a bookmark. I think right about here is a good position. So to remind myself how to place a bookmark, I'm going to select the 3 lines. Some people call this the hamburger icon, and go down to bookmarks and set bookmark. I'm going to set my 4th bookmark I see that that is Control 4, but I can just click here to set that. Now, no matter where I move to, if I hit the 4 key, I'll snap back. Now, I'm going to hit G to go into Game View and F11 to enter Immersive Mode. And now I'm ready to take my screenshot. So I'm going to go ahead and select High Resolution Screenshot. I'm going to select this icon so I can choose my view rectangle, so I can drag and highlight it here. There's my capture rectangle, and I'll click Capture, and here is the folder that contains my new screenshot. And I can double click, and here's what it looks like. It looks great. So the next step is to share this with the Discord community. So I'm going to rename this and call it Steven's Screenshot. And to share it with the Discord community, this will be simple. I'm first going to go ahead and close out of the screen capture window. I'm going to hit G to get out of Game View and F11 to get back out of Immersive Mode. And I'm going to bring up Discord. And here's the Share Your Work channel, just under Game Development. So I can share my work right here. And to do that is as simple as taking my screenshot and dragging it right here, and I can just post it. And I can say, challenge for section 1 in UE5 C++ course. And I can simply post. And there it is. All right, so great job finishing section 1. We're just getting started, but so far we've already installed and used Unreal Engine 5. We've learned about the level editor viewport, how to maneuver through the world in the viewport, change view modes in the viewport, and manipulate objects in the viewport. And we also learned about some of the panels in the level editor and how we can use those to assist us in creating our world. So now that we have those basics down, it's time to move on to some much more interesting stuff as we get a little bit more serious with our level creation by getting our hands on some extremely high-detailed Quixel Megascan assets. So we'll do that next. Excellent job. I'll see you soon.